El dinero, en este sentido, sería la
In this sense, money is the quintessential social institution. For, as it permits an almost unlimited increase in exchanges between human beings, it permits an exponential increase in relationships, in interactions between people, between the men and women who make up the world, who make up civilization. In the age of barter, exchanges were limited to the tiny sphere of what households had left over, and the vast majority of households lived in a state of self-consumption. They lived on small farms, and they consumed practically everything they produced: agricultural goods, livestock.
solamente algún sobrante, pues, y
It was
además,
only the occasional surplus which motivated them, and very infrequently, once or twice a year, to leave the village, travel down into the valleys and make contact with the, in this case, distant neighbors, to exchange by bartering the goods each had left over. When money, the medium of exchange, entered the scene, relationships, exchanges, exploded. And because many more exchanges were then possible, people needed to be able to understand each other, to talk with each other, and to know what they were offering, and what others were offering them. In parallel with the huge increase in exchanges, due to the emergence of money as a commonly and generally accepted medium of exchange, the different local dialects spoken in each valley or small region began to converge, and a language of more widespread use gradually took shape.
empieza a formarse el castellano a partir de una serie de dialectos.
Spanish began to arise from a number of dialects spoken in different valleys in the north of Burgos in the 11th century. If money had not made all of those exchanges possible, the human beings of that time would have remained confined indefinitely, for centuries and centuries, to their small villages and their meager barter transactions, and thus to their strictly local languages.
De la misma manera que una tendencia a la generalización
Just as there was a tendency toward the spread of a single, commonly accepted medium of exchange, there was also a tendency toward the spread of a language which permitted everyone to communicate more and more effectively with everyone else. In addition, the dramatic increase in exchanges, which money permitted, somehow gradually refined the moral and legal behaviors that make life in society possible. For a handshake implies a contract of sale, which has a series of characteristics that legal experts progressively refined over the course of the development of legal theory. Legal theory explains the rules which are discovered little by little through the evolutionary process of social cooperation, rules which make the advancement of civilization possible. The same is true for the rules of ethics. So, my emphatic assertion that money is the quintessential social institution is not some kind of heresy that should shock us. The explanation is as follows. Money permits a colossal increase in exchanges, and since an exchange is the quintessential social relationship, this increase leads to the refinement of the rest of the institutions which are so vital to human beings, and which make life in society possible. In other words, language, law, morality, economic and social institutions, etc.